This video covers the tracking of SQL Server permissions across SQL Server instances in order to answer questions from auditing perspective or questions about sudden permissions lost. We have three areas. First area is the one in which we configure the scheduling for permission retrieval. The retrieval of permissions consists of three TSQL queries, which retrieve SQL Server permissions, database permissions, and permissions-related entries from default SQL Server trace. All these scripts are scheduled and data is retrieved per schedule, and first retrieval is inserted to a main table while the next ones are compared with the previous one in order to find addition, deletion of the events, and inserted in a different table. Second area is the area where we can see information about future executions and logs of the previous executions, while the third area is the area in which we can retrieve and view the data we captured. We can see data captured for server, database, and default trace permissions, and due to the fact that retrieval is done often and against multiple servers and databases, a filtering was imposed before being able to retrieve the data from the tables. As you can see, data is retrieved for server and database permissions using a join between the main table and a history one, which records only the modifications since selected timestamp. The options for filtering are displayed based on the category for which we want to retrieve the data and aims not only to filter the data, but also to show logins rights on specific servers or if specific permissions exists on specific servers, and so on. If you look to the results, you will see that sometimes if server role was specified or permission name, we return some columns which are not important or relevant to the filtering we had in place. For example, if we choose as filtering server roles sysadmin, then we shouldn't retrieve columns and data for the securables permissions like alter any endpoint, and so on. This can be implemented relatively easy, but was not implemented and shown because these become relevant, or better say surface, when you present the feature and you start noticing some areas of improvements. As you can see, when transitioning from server permissions to database and default trace, I forgot to set selected index for each of the combo boxes to 0 in order to display the option properly, and also to hide specific combo boxes if they cannot be used to filter the selected retrieval category. All these were fixed after I made the video. For the remaining of the video, I will just add and remove permissions and wait for data retrieval to happen in order to show how these operations will look when retrieved from the database tables.